Good morning, guys. Good morning. Happy Thursday. I know I'm running a little late. I got caught up in doing something else. That's what I get from multitasking. Good morning, and how do you do? I'd like to introduce myself to you. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. We are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life and finances. Oh, excuse me. I hope everybody's ready to get this morning started. I know I am. As I stretch it out this morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. I don't know why I'm singing this morning. I don't know. I just felt like singing. I'm going to share this show right fast. Y'all give me 2 seconds. I hope you guys enjoyed the show yesterday. If you did, please let me know. And if there's any, nobody's ever told me if there's something they want me to talk about that I don't cover. There's got to be something when, I say something, you be like, you know what, JoJo, you need to talk about this. Or maybe you need to mention this. There's nothing like that. Y'all ain't thought of nothing. Let me know so I know I'm not out here by myself. So I know that somebody's listening. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. My name is Yamitra JoJo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy Specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? Excuse me. Sleeping out today. I got my ponytail going on today. It's going to be a great day. It's a good day to be. Death will teach you some serious lessons. It's a great day to be alive. And please do not take your space here on this planet for granted. Please don't take your space here on this planet for granted. I like that. Don't take your space here on this planet for granted. That kind of rhymes, didn't it? Don't let me find out I can rhyme words, y'all. It's going to be all the way on. Good morning. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. We are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. My name is Yamitra JoJo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy Specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? So the Fearless Thought for Day. I hope y'all caught the show yesterday. If you didn't, please go back and watch it. We talked about taking the risk and not believing in your crazy. Just take a minute to say what if, and then the day before was make room for the answers that you're seeking, and stretch your mind. What are you capable of really achieving? So today, and last week we talked about, your thoughts and your. I'm always talking about your thoughts and your words. But today, we're going to go back to a topic I did last year. And for some of my OGs on here who are original Fearless Morning Shows for over a year, y'all may know this topic. Picking out 3 words that excite you. Now, find 3 words that excite you that are going to help you develop your daily mantra, because on this journey, it gets really, really hard sometimes to stay positive. It gets hard to stay positive. It gets hard to always have a positive outlook, because this is life. I will tell you, and everybody will tell you gotta live your best life and, all of this, but there are going to be days when you ain't checking for nobody. You ain't got it. You ain't got it for a kid, chip no child, husband, friend, boyfriend, boo thing, side piece, church. You ain't got it for nobody. You ain't got nothing, and you just doing good to show up. You did good to brush your teeth and wash your face. So on those days, that is when your daily mantra is going to help you. So how we get to that, the first step is to find 3 words that excite us. 3 words that, maybe excite is not the word that I want to use. 3 words that speak to us, motivate us. So here are some words. Yes, we are on the move this morning. And as y'all can tell, I should have been my plan was to be on the road by 5:30. but we're still here, and it's okay. I needed to do what I needed to do this morning. So find some words that speak to you, like beautiful, inspiration, grace, forgiveness, independence, thoughtfulness. Find some words. Y'all think of some more adjectives that make you persistent, that make you say, you know what, that's really me. Pick 3 words. And then if you don't know 3 words, go to Google. Y'all know I'm a fan of a dictionary. Get you a dictionary and look up some words. Start with 1 word and then right click on if you on word and go to your synonyms. Right. I know Margaret's is hashtag change the world. Mine is I am my sister's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. Mine is patience, understanding, greatness. Please, and this is something I continue to learn for myself, not to be afraid to say that you are great or you are good at something, or that because a lot of times we are taught, because you got to stay humble in all of it, true. But you also have to understand that you're just good at what you do. And there's nothing wrong at being good at what you do. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. At some point, and it's a fine line, and I don't know if people are going to agree with me or not, but I'm telling you, it's a fine line between being arrogant and having an ego. You got to have a little bit of ego to say, JoJo, you can handle this, girl. You got this. It's going to take a little ego so that you can do what you need to do, but you don't want to be arrogant with it. Correct, Margaret. You are amazing. I think I'm amazing too. And it took a long time for me to say those words, to mean them, and to say them unapologetically, to say them without reserve. So it took me a while to get there. So today, we're going to develop a daily mantra, and so the first step is to pick 3 words that excite you, or 3 words that describe you. I'm a space giver. Seed planter. And you know what? They don't have to be things that you do. Let's pick brilliant. Let's pick amazing. Let's pick beautiful. Let's pick independent. Friend. Pick a word that excites you. If you don't know a word, grab a dictionary. And y'all know me. Go to some Google and pick you a word that you can use. That's going to help you. And pick a word that when you read it, you be like, yeah, that's me. So if you want to be brilliant, if you want to be amazing, that's correct, Margaret. Build your tribe and kick open a door. If you want to be brilliant, if you want to be amazing, if you want to be steadfast, if you want to be consistent, whatever that word is, and I had a list. That's why I'm looking around the room. I had a list of those words somewhere because I did a show on that, and I picked out words and I gave them out, but I can't find the list. So pick you a word, pick 3 words today that help you, that are going to speak to what excites you. Because along this journey, we got to develop a mantra. You got to develop something that you're going to, and people may say, I'm going to pray. Absolutely, you have to pray. But develop something that you can read. If y'all come to my house again, you see them everywhere, right? And they're all over the place. Pick you something that speaks to your soul. And if you can't find something that speaks to your soul, then by all means, find another one. Here's one that I fell in love with. I got 2. This one, I think, Margaret, you might be on a show when I discovered this. When I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid. And I found that maybe 3 months ago. No, before Christmas. And when I tell y'all, that made me cry. Because let me tell you what's going to happen on this journey. And I talked about this yesterday. When you decide to do different, live past crazy, you decide to step outside of what your family understands or what your family thinks is normal for you, or you're doing something totally different than what they expect. It is scary. you're afraid, your confidence is kind of shaky because you're doing different than everybody else, and you may not see the next step that you need to do, but you know you can't stay there. You know you got to take that step, right? You know you got to take that step because in your soul, like the Jesus in you is speaking to your whole body and saying, if you don't take this, then you will slowly die right here. That part. This is where this quote came in. When I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid. And that's by Audre Lorde. And she was an activist. She was a first gay lesbian activist, I want to say. Please correct me, but y'all can Google her. AUDRELORDE. When I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid. And sometimes, my friends, words like that give you the pep that you need to do what you need to do, because sometimes it's hard. It's hard. And in that space, you can get depressed. You can get sad. You can become overwhelmed because you're doing something different. And then if nobody is on this journey with you, it gets heck of a lonely sometimes. It gets lonely. It gets frustrating. You get aggravated. And that's where your quote's going to come in. That's where your tribe, if you're Miss Margaret, that's where your tribe is going to come in. If you're with me, it's where your purpose partner is going to come in. That's when your prayer is going to come in. That's when your friends are going to come in. But be mindful of what is around you when you're having that moment, because sadness and depression is just as contagious as a smile and joy. And that means if I'm having a hard time, and I tell you guys, check yourself out all the time. If I'm having a hard time and I go to my friend who is also having a hard time, or if I'm having a hard time and I'm looking for something positive and I go to them and they don't give me anything positive, depression and sadness is just as contagious as joy. That means if I'm sad and I'm around people who are sad and depressed, we're going to be sad and depressed together. We're going to multiply that thing. We're going to make our children sad and depressed, our family sad and depressed. And this is just my personal opinion. Please seek professional help if you need it. I had to become mindful of who I was around. And on those days when my dream was bigger than I could swallow, or my idea was bigger than I can shoulder, I couldn't go to my friend that was going to complain with me about the low paying job, or the friend that was going to complain to me about not having gas in the car. I couldn't go to the friend that was going to complain with me about being a single parent. I couldn't go to them because it is just as contagious as joy. Why take it to them when they're clearly not interested in what I'm trying to do? So that's where being mindful of your circle, your purpose partners, your tribe, your sisters, whatever it is, you need to be mindful, because depression and sadness is just as contagious as joy. And if that's you, like if you're that sad, depressed person, hey, I'm a fan of counseling all day long. Prayer, counseling, because a lot of people, I think, in the Black community say, oh, we don't go to counseling, we go to church. But the thing about church is we pray and we leave it on the altar, but then we pick it right back up. And then Jesus made professionals. So if we live in his kingdom and he gave us everything that we need to survive, then a counselor is inside of the kingdom. So take advantage of that. So I'm a fan of counseling. I'm a fan of your girlfriends. I'm a fan of all support systems that are going to help you. So pick those 3 words that excite you, that speak to you, that are going to give you that when you don't have it. Like when you don't have it to give, you don't have the time, you don't have the patience, you don't have nothing to give nobody. Because I've been there. I've been days where I did good to brush my teeth and just show up. Like, I'm not adulting today. I'm not peopling today. And if you don't know what peopling is, it's when I say I've had enough people today and I'm not going to deal with people anymore. So I'm not peopling. And I have a t-shirt that says that. And people always say, what does that mean? It means I just don't want to talk to people today. And so you got to know your limits as well. But on those days, that's when your daily mantra or the words that speak to you are going to come in handy. So I have two. One is Andrea Lord's, when I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid. That's when I'm getting kind of scared of, Lord Jesus, you really want me to do this? I don't know, because I'm from Union Mills. I can't do this. That's for those days. And here's one that I wrote myself. And I wrote this one, I want to say 2016. And it stays over there on that wall. I just took it down. And this is my personal mantra. This stays in my purse. It's on my desk. It's on my wall. It's in my nightstand. And I darn near, I probably do have it memorized. Because if you don't, and in picking these words, even if you pick a word that you feel connected to, and if you don't, pick a word that you're going to aspire to, because some days you're going to need that motivation. So here's my personal daily mantra. Besides the I look good, I feel good, I am good. Besides that, so this is, pick 3 words that speak to either what excites you or speak to where you want to be or the person you want to be. Good morning, Mama. How you doing? Y'all, my mama got a new phone. Pray for her. She says she don't like it, but I think she secretly loves it. So, because she can FaceTime now. Oh, Lord. Technology. So here's my daily mantra. So pick 3 words that excite you, that speak to who you are. This is my personal one. I persevere. I am relentless. I persist. I keep going. Inside of me is a resolve, a will to survive. It is so strong, it will overpower me and make the impossible possible. I am free of the past and I claim my future. I am strengthening my voice and speaking my truth. Somebody is waiting to hear my voice and they will not move until I move. So on those days, y'all, when I feel like crying, when I feel like, you know what, I'm not the person to do the Fearless Morning Show. I'm not the person to do the Fearless Thought of the Day. I'm not the person to tell anybody how to live past crazy. When I'm having one of those moments, I don't, I'm not the best mama. Why these kids keep coming and ask me this? I don't want to people today. I don't like my job. On those days when you don't like nothing. You don't like nothing. You don't like nobody. And you don't care what nobody says. It's just going to be a horrible day because your mind is set. Please understand, we all have those days. It is how you react to those days, how I overcome those days, that's most important. So when I know I'm having one of those days, I repeat I look good, I feel good, I am good. I go to the bathroom, I'm a meditation girl. Yep, I'm going to pray, but I'm also going to take my quiet time and do my deep breathing. And I'm going to think about, why am I having these bad thoughts? Is it because, and sometimes that's what it takes. So this is my confession. So I'll say, JoJo, why do you think you can't do that? JoJo, why do you think you can't do the morning show anymore? Why do you think nobody's going to listen to you? And it always goes back to my fear. And we all have this. Maybe we're not good enough. Who's going to listen to us? And we all want that validation of, am I the person that really needs to be doing this? And so I know it's going to come eventually when I work it down. Like, JoJo, why are you afraid to open up a bookstore? Why are you afraid to offer this retreat? Why are you afraid to do this? Why are you afraid to do that? It ultimately comes down to, you don't know if you can do it. Who are you to be doing it? You just from Far City. You just from Union Mills. Your name is JoJo. Who are you to be doing anything? And it comes down to the bare basics. And so now I've learned to work quicker with it. Meaning I don't stay in that all day. If I have that thought, if you give me a good 10 minutes, 15 tops, I can work my way out of it. And this is where your self-work, this is where counseling has helped, meditation has helped, self-talk has helped, journaling has helped, all the things have helped. So I said, okay, JoJo, why are you feeling this way? You scared? All right, now let's look at the basis of this being scared. Are you scared because you haven't tried it? Or are you scared because you have tried and it didn't work? I can't be scared if I've never tried it because I don't know. So I got to take that out the equation, so that can't count anymore. Am I scared because I don't have the answer? Well, if you're smart enough to push out a whole human, carry a human, go back to school, and this really comes in handy. You need to keep one counselor suggested I keep a book of, I forgot what it's called, but it's a book of all your accomplishments. So on those days when you feel like you can't accomplish nothing, you go back and look at that book. And Georgia, you wrote 2 books. You've been in a movie. And I go down and I list the things that I've already achieved. And then I come down to, why would you think you couldn't do this? And then when it gets down to, oh, but it's so hard. Because that's my answer for everything. Oh, but it's so hard and I don't understand. I don't know. Then I'm going to work backwards. Okay, if this is really hard and you can't handle the big thought of it, let's break it down into smaller thoughts. Let's not look at the big picture. So if you want to open up a bookstore, what's the first thing you need to do? You can't do anything without information, so get the information. Well, what's the next step past that? And so on those days where I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling sad, or I don't think that I can do what I need to do. Like, who am I to be doing the Fearless Morning Show? Who am I to own a nonprofit, to own a business, to want to work for myself? Who am I? I worked at McDonald's from 14 to 22. Who am I? What do I know? And on those days when I think those thoughts, on those days when I think that I'm just not good enough for anything, I use those 2 mantras. When I dare to be powerful, when I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid. And that simply means when I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in my service of my vision, meaning when I think about what God has given me to do, when I think about that and I use the strength of that vision, then it's not important whether I'm afraid or not, because I got things to do. Good morning, Jasmine. It doesn't matter. And then here's my own personal, and if y'all want a copy of this, let me know. I don't know what that mark is. Who knows? I think it's food, because it was on the desk and then it made its way to the wall. So this is my daily mantra. I read it before I go out the door. It hangs right over there, right there. And it says, my personal daily mantra: I persevere. I am relentless. I persist. I keep going. Inside of me is a resolve, a will to survive. It is so strong, it will overpower me and make the impossible possible. I am free of the past and I claim my future. I am strengthening my voice and speaking my truth. Somebody is waiting to hear my voice and they will not move until I move. And there are days when I can barely say that because I don't feel it. And there are going to be days you're going to have to say it with the attitude so that you can feel it. There are days when I have to say it, JoJo, like, you going to persevere. You relentless, girl. And I got to say it with all the attitude of far-sittingness that I have, so that I can remind myself that you can. And it's okay. And if it's one of those days where, you know what, you sad, you depressed, remember, sadness and depression is just as contagious as joy. Be mindful of who you're around. So that may mean you might not need to share that sadness and depression with somebody else who's already sad and depressed, and then y'all multiply it times 2. Then you're going to pass it down to your children and then your other co-workers, and then before you know it, you got a whole big circle of sad and depressed, and you wonder why you ain't ever motivated to do nothing. What's in your circle? So that may mean you may need to introduce a new person into your circle. I'm always a fan of counseling. I'm always a fan of praying. I'm a fan of all the things that you need to do to get where you need to be. But sadness and depression is just as contagious as joy. So if I'm sad and depressed, I need to be mindful of who I'm sad and depressed with. And if I'm the one that's bringing the sadness and depression to my friends, then I need to check myself. So that may mean I need to introduce somebody who's not as sad as depressed as me into my circle. It may mean I find a counselor who can help me unpack all of this stuff. Why am I feeling this way? And for me, if I'm feeling sad and depressed, or if I'm feeling overwhelmed, like I can't do it, when I have those, JoJo, there's too much for you to do, I have a notebook here of all the things I need to do for the business and thing. When I look at that list, Sunday I just sit here like this. And my kids say, Mama, what you doing? Nothing. Because I'm overwhelmed with what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. And then that's when that self-talk comes in. That's when my fear is going to come in. And that's where I'm going to say, Judge, who are you to be doing this? Why? Why are you doing this again? Do you really want to do this? And then I start questioning all the things. Who are you? Why are you doing this? That's why it's my 3 questions. What is your intent? What is your intention? Why do you keep saying yes? Those come in handy. And so for me, I grab my book and I journal it out. And then I walk like I said, I've gotten quicker at it. I can walk myself out of that state. Okay, Jojo, why are you feeling overwhelmed to think that you can't do this? Why are you scared to think that you can't do this? Why don't you want to do it? Because sometimes I just don't want to. People say, Jojo, why not? I don't know. I just don't want to. And sometimes that's my honest answer. And that's my honest feeling. And you don't have to apologize for that. Because if I know, if I'm being true to who I am, then I'm being true to who I am. But on those days where I'm offering excuses to myself on why I can't do things, because we offer excuses to ourselves to relieve ourselves of responsibility of doing what we need to do. So on those days where it's like, I don't want to do it. Why don't you want to do it? Well, it's too hard because then I'm going to have to address some things. And then I'm going to have to do the work I don't want to do. Then I'm going to have to make a phone call I don't want to have to make. Then I'm going to have to have a conversation I don't want to have. But why? Because I'm afraid of them not liking me. Or I'm afraid that I'm going to hurt their feelings. I'm afraid they're going to hurt my feelings. I'm afraid it ain't going to work. I don't know the answer. Maybe I'm going to fail. Maybe I'm going to look stupid. I can't be the only one having those thoughts. So if y'all have them, please let me know. I have those thoughts. And so when I'm having those thoughts, that's where I break it down for myself. Why are you really feeling this way? Like, why do you really think that you can't do what you need to do? And it always comes down to, I'm afraid that nobody has done it in my family before me. So what if I fail? Number 2, who am I to be doing any of this? I'm JoJo. If you lived in Forest City from age 14 to 22 in the late 80s and the 90s up until 1998, you came to McDonald's and I served you through drive-thru. Who am I to be telling anybody anything when I served hamburgers most of my life? Who am I? And so when I'm having those days, thank you, Jasmine, every day. So when I'm having one of those days, I've got to break it down. Why am I feeling that way? And for me, my counselor suggested, you keep she called it a brag book. That's what it was. So you go down the list of your accomplishments of what you've already done. And that's like giving yourself a pep talk. So JoJo, okay, so you meaning to tell me, and y'all, this is how I'm showing you how I do it. You mean to tell me, and then sometimes I get mad at myself, right? Anybody else get mad at themselves? So I get mad at myself. I say, okay, so you mean to tell me you survived your husband trying to kill you 3 times? The last time he almost succeeded, like he sat on you and choked you till you passed out. He ripped your earrings out your ear, your necklace. I mean, he pulled patches of your hair out. You mean to tell me you survived that? Almost being prostituted out by your husband? You survived almost being committed to a mental hospital because he thought you was crazy? You survived that. You survived living less than paycheck to paycheck. And you raised 2 whole children. And you went back to school and got your master's. And your PhD. And you mean to tell me, JoJo, that you scared to think a different thought? Like you scared to do something different today? Girl, if you don't go sit down somewhere and shut up. And then I remind myself. And that's where my quotes. And that's when I start reading my quotes. When I dare to be powerful. Because you got to dare. Like you got to. Y'all know that. I dare you to do that. I was the daredevil in my neighborhood. I popped the wheelies. I climbed the trees. I had the BB guns. I fought the boys. I did all the things. So why am I being scared now? Because of self-talk and the things that we've allowed other people to say to us that we have adapted into our minds to think that we have to do. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your income. It doesn't matter where you are in life. If you dare to be powerful. Like yesterday, If in the day before if we take a risk to not believe in the crazy, if we start to make room for the answer, you can do it. Please don't use age as an excuse. Because if you use age as an excuse, it simply means you don't want to do the work. That's all that means. Because once you start doing the work, you'll realize age really doesn't matter. So when I dare to be powerful, okay, to use my strength in the service of my vision. So when I dare to be powerful and I use what little strength I have to use it in my vision that the good Lord gave me, then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid. When I tell y'all this quote is everywhere, and that's by Audre Lorde. And then mine that I read with an attitude, I'll read it one more time. I persevere. I am relentless. I persist. I keep going. Inside of me is a resolve or will to survive. It is so strong, it will overpower me and make the impossible possible. I am free of the past, and I claim my future. I am strengthening my voice and speaking my truth. Somebody is waiting to hear my voice, and they will not move until I move. When I tell y'all, some days I got to eat that word for word. I got to say it, pause, think about it, swallow it, feel it in my knower, and then go to the next one. And I tell y'all, yesterday y'all saw it hanging up right there. I make my kids read it. There's mantras on my refrigerator. The one on my refrigerator says, if you woke up this morning, that means you have not finished the work that God has put in you to do. So go to work. That's on the refrigerator. They're everywhere. There's not a place in my house that you're not going to find something that's going to remind you how good you are, how great you are, how amazing you are. So today, pick those 3 words that excite you. That's the Phyllis thought for the day. Finding words that excite you or ignite something in you. And if you can't find 3 words that right now you feel like are you, borrow those 3 words. I'm going to give you some. Amazing, beautiful, confident, resilient. What's another word? Relentless, determined, independent, motivated, determined, disciplined. Grab one of them words. Grab 3 of them and put them together. And I don't care if you write it on a little tiny piece of paper and you stick it in your pocket and you look at it every day. I'm telling y'all, that's what I did. Because when you stop complaining, you stop talking negative, it's harder to come off with joy than it is to stop complaining. So you're going to need a reminder. And some days you're going to have to hold your piece of paper like this and say it over and over and over again until you memorize it, 1 or 2. But pick those 3 words and let them speak to you. Borrow them until you believe them. And once you believe them, you borrow some more. And then you make your daily mantra. Then you make something that speaks to who you are. Then you write it. It ain't got to be anything complicated. It ain't got to be anything. It can be 1 word. I am amazing. I will continue to be amazing. Thank you, Jasmine Strong. That's a good one. Because if you, and I am my sister's keeper, so for my sisters out there and my brothers, if you're a single parent, forget that if you brought a child into this world, you strong. Some of us may not use our strength in the right way, but we're strong. And here's what you think about. When you say you can't accomplish your dream, you can't because you're too old, you don't have the money, you don't have this. I don't know the answers. You brought a whole human into this world, and you navigated that human up until adulthood. You will find stronger, find smarter. And if you think about a kid as a business, you ran a whole business because you managed everything for that kid. From the time they got here to the time they left at your household. From their education to their health. You managed everything. So think of your child as your employee. You manage their health benefits. You're the HR person. You're the CEO. You're the CFO. You are all things for that corporation, which is your child. You find answers daily for your family. You find answers daily for your job. So you mean to tell me you can't take that same determination and do it for yourself? And this is what you cannot use for an excuse. But JoJo, these my kids, I got to. Oh, okay, cool. What about you again? Because if you doing it for your kids, but you're not doing it for yourself, your kids, here's my thing. And we can agree to disagree. If mama is not healthy, mentally, emotionally, and physically, I cannot give my all to my children. I'm going to give them a subpar version of JoJo. They're not going to get all of me. They're not going to get all of me because I'm busy complaining. I'm busy being depressed. I'm busy being sad. I'm busy having a pity party. I'm busy being negative Nelly, Debbie Downer. I'm busy doing all the things for myself that are going to continue to keep my crazy where I need it to be. So when it comes to my kids, they only getting a piece of it. Because if you was really doing it for your kids, where Margaret go? She said you kick the door in, you kicking the door down, and you handling some business. Because that's what I knew when I left my abuser. Yep, I cried. Yep, I was depressed. I had postpartum depression after. When I tell you I had that yin yang, I couldn't even hold my child. I didn't want to hold him. I didn't want to kill, because I didn't have, my ex-husband made sure I didn't have that mother bonding time. So, and plus she was in the hospital for 31 days. So there was no time for me to touch and hold her and really become her mother. And then when she came home, my abuser said, you can't touch her because she's my child. And you're just here to take the place of the next wife. So I couldn't touch her unless he told me to. And now all of a sudden I have a whole human you want me to be responsible for. I just left an abuser. I got so many mental things going on in my mind. What am I gonna do with it? What am I gonna do with a crying baby? What am I gonna do? If y'all know me, I do movie inserts right here. And I want to do with 2 more kids. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. What am I gonna do with another kid? Jojo, what was you thinking? And so until I could get it all together for me, I couldn't be all together for my children. They got half of who I was. They got some of who I was. Because I think you're an amazing person. You're an amazing mother. You're an amazing woman, wife. You are so amazing. But if you're crazy, it's eating up all your mental time. So that when it comes to your children and yourself, the only thing that you can give yourself is your negativity. Or the only thing that you can give your children is your half-attempted attitude of I'm doing it for you. Because all of you not in there. And you can say, JoJo, that's the only thing that gives me joy is doing it for my kids. Okay. If that gives you joy for doing it for your children, then it should give you joy to do more for yourself so that you can give more to your children because they go hand in hand. That's my personal opinion. We can agree to disagree, okay? I'm just saying. So that's my fearless thought for the day, guys. On this Thankful Thursday, pick 3 words that speak to you. If you don't have 3 words, borrow 3 words. Jasmine is strong, independent, brilliance, amazing, confident, beautiful. Pick you 3 words and borrow them and say them until you can believe them. And then you borrow some more. I'm helping you set your foundation. So as you going through this crazy, your foundation is set. Because if your foundation is shaky going through this crazy, you're going to go right back to it. Because better the crazy you know than the crazy you don't. And your mom used to tell you that. Better the devil you know, JoJo, than the devil you don't. I always wonder what that means. Now I understand. Better the crazy you know than the crazy you don't. That simply means you rather go back to the crazy routine that you know, because at least you know what to expect over there. At least I know I'm going to complain about not having money. I'm going to complain about not being able to pay my bills. I'm going to complain about not having gas in my car, not having no food. My kids getting on my nerves. I don't like my job. I don't like myself. I don't like my hair. I don't like my clothes. I know that routine. But the crazy I don't know is I like life. I like myself. I love my children. I like my job. I have enough money. My bills are paid, late or not. At least they paid. See, I don't know that, but I know the complaining part of it. So you got to set your foundation right. I'm just saying. Depression and sadness is just as contagious as joy. Depression and sadness is just as contagious as joy. So think about that when the people are around. And here's something I said earlier. Don't take your space. Death, let me tell you, we've had a lot of death in my family since October. A lot. And if nothing else, death, I think the hardest death in my family was my Uncle Joe. And if Jasmine, you're still on here, me and Jasmine have bonded over this. She had an uncle that passed away. That was her life. My Uncle Joe was my entire life. Like, Uncle Joe's ranked right up there, maybe beyond. He, like my big daddy, my grandpa, then my Uncle Joe, then my daddy. My daddies, I got 2. I got 3. So Uncle Joe right up there. And so when he passed away, it just like stopped me in my tracks. But then it taught me a lesson. That if I'm going to take up space here on this earth, don't take it for granted. So don't take your space here on this earth for granted. Don't take your space here on this earth for granted. We lost my aunt Monday. And it's just it's a reminder that life is very fragile. You can breathe now and not breathe in just that second. And why do I want to leave this earth with anything that Jesus gave me at all? He put the greatness in you. He did. You may doubt it right now. You don't see it right now. And you may think he didn't give you anything. But the mere fact that you woke up this morning means he gave it to you. Don't take your space here on this earth for granted. Teach your children not to take it for granted. Teach your loved ones not to take it for granted. Because right now, when we complain about the things that ain't ever going to go right, and when we do all of that, then we're taking this life for granted. Be thankful on this Thankful Thursday that you have the things that you have the problems that you have, because you could be resting in the grave on the other side. As my big daddy say, be thankful that you on this side of the living. My big daddy used to say that. I love my grandpa and I love my Uncle Joe. Be thankful that you're on this side of the living. And if you are, that simply means you have work to do. So if you're having one of those crazy days, develop your daily mantra. Pick 3 words that excite you, that speak to you. If you don't have 3 words, borrow 3 words until you feel them. And then stick it somewhere where you can find it. If you want my personal mantra, I'll send you a copy. Mine hangs up on my wall. So if you want Audre Lorde's, I'll post a link to this one there. You can use somebody's until you can develop your own. When I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid. If you want them, let me know. I will gladly share them with you, because I am my sister's keeper. Period. I am my sister's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. Pick 3 words that excite you today. If you don't have 3 words that excite you, good morning, Michael. If you don't have 3 words that excite you, borrow 3 words that excite you. Be amazing. Be beautiful. Be independent. Be hopeful. Can we just borrow that word? Let's be hopeful. Let's be thankful. Let's be amazing. Let's be brilliant. Jasmine's word was strong, relentless, persistent. Pick a word. Grab a dictionary. Pick a word that speaks to you. If you don't have one, borrow some words. If you don't have a daily mantra, borrow one. If you want mine, let me know. I'll send you a copy. I'm going to hang mine back up. Look, let me tell you how real it is. Here's my little things. Put it back up on my wall. Today, guys, go back and watch the show, how I walked through one of those days where I'm feeling down, like I can't do it. There is no room for me to do it, or I'm feeling overwhelmed. Because ultimately it comes down to us being afraid that we can't achieve what we need to achieve. That we can't do it because of who we are, where we're from. We can't do it because of our age. We can no longer use that as an excuse. We just can't. Now, your excuses will always be valid. I will always tell you that your excuses are valid. They're real. It's just, how real are you going to allow them to continue to be? Meaning, are they going to be so real that they stop you? They're going to be so real that you keep going. I'm just saying. That is the Phyllis Thought for the day. I hope you have an amazing Thursday. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, don't forget we have a YouTube channel so they can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. I'm getting ready to post a link from yesterday's show. So if you missed yesterday's show, please, thank you, Michael. I appreciate you. Please go back and watch yesterday's show. If you want my daily mantra, please send me a message. I'll read it one more time. For those just coming in, if you want it. This is my personal daily mantra that sits on my wall. I persevere. I am relentless. I persist. I keep going. Inside of me is a resolve, a will to survive. It is so strong, it will overpower me and make the impossible possible. I am free of the past and I claim my future. I am strengthening my voice and speaking my truth. Somebody, y'all, is waiting to hear my voice, and they will not move until I move. Somebody in your family is waiting to hear your voice. One of your friends is waiting. They waiting on you to make your move so that they know it's safe to do what they need to do. If your friends and family do not have Facebook and they want their fearless start to delay day delivered to their email, that's the link right there. So they can do that. And then here is one more. I'm going to post this. You can, between now and April the 8th, I have a 5 ebook series, and it's called Foundations Matter. And so you can get all 5 books. It comes out April the 10th, but you can pre-order it up into the 8th. It's $19. And here's the topics for them so that you know what you're getting. On the link, it'll tell you. You're getting book 1 is going to be on mental detox. Book 2, how to get past the no's of you. 3, building your inner confidence, part 1. Number 4 is 6 easy steps for power to change. Number 5 is walking the unique expressions of you. And then if you pre-order, you're going to get my purpose partners information. I developed a contract. We got rules to this thing on what it means to be a purpose partner and how true you are to this. So please make sure you check all of those things out. If you want, I Am My Sister's Keeper t-shirt. I keep forgetting to bring one in here. I do have I Am My Sister's Keeper t-shirt. They are at livepastcrazy.com. So if you go over there, you can see the t-shirts and all the things over there. I hope you have an amazing Thursday. Please don't forget to share the show. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to come see me every morning. This week I've had the luxury of being at home because it's spring break instead of the car. But on Monday we'll be back to the car edition. So we'll be back in the car come Monday. Thank you for sharing all of your time with me. I greatly appreciate it because who am I to listen to? I'm just a little girl from Far City. So I truly, truly appreciate you listening. If this has helped anybody, please let me know. If you know somebody who needs to live past crazy, send them on over this way. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. I love you guys, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.